We don't have a permit, so it's illegal. That's what everyone's on the live stream's problem is too. We didn't get a permit. Oh God. Like you guys.
LMPD is live streaming this.
Yeah, LMPD is live streaming now, but they can't use their fucking body cameras. Like, what's up with that?
I know.
It's because cell phones got way better battery life than their body cams do.
I saw the girl. I saw the woman who's live streaming. She has something like that.
I just realized I know who that is, and she works with homeless kids. Like, girl be arrested right there, works with homeless kids. She's the one that got pulled into the street and arrested, and she was forced into an unlawful assembly. She was legally.
She's in jail too.
It's a family affair.
Nice, Tessa.
You need a ride? Yeah, I saw a ride. I can get you. I got a car.
Yeah, but they run.
No, I got a car right there. I can take you there.
I found myself over here by the legal observers and the bail fund people. So they're actually asking people arrested to yell out their names as they're being put into the paddy wagon so that they can get the bail fund assistance rolling. You know, even before they're processed, ideally. Nah, don't worry about it, man. We're all on welfare and we're all jobless and we're all Democrats. It's fine. Don't even feed into it, man. The bail fund is a community collection. There's actually two that Louisville has been utilizing. There's the Louisville Community Bail Fund, and then there is the Kentucky Bail Project, which is connected with a national conglomerate that assists protesters with bail. What up? Yeah. Yeah, I got that catch. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, man. How you feel?
But yeah, the bail funds are all donation based. I don't care if you're Republican, I don't care if you're Democrat, because we're not here to discuss politics. We're here to discuss social issues, social injustices, people's human rights. You know, it has nothing to do with politics. Bipartisan system is broke. Bipartisan system has been broke for a long time. Liberals, conservatives, Democrats, Republicans, it's all the same shit at this point. I'll say it again, it's two sides of the same coin. It's two wings on the same shit eagle. Milky's not quite MIA. Steph has been in Seattle covering there a little bit. I believe it, if I had to guess, I would say that it's probably to stay out of Louisville while their case is being processed. I assume that if you got arrested again, it would probably complicate any type of, legal action that you may or may not be able to take against LMPD because of the way that they were arrested. So, again, this is all just my assumption. This is my thought behind it. Probably bounce to Seattle for a little bit just to stay out of the limelight a little bit because, law enforcement here recognizes stuff, no problem, but maybe law enforcement in Seattle doesn't. Further, Seattle's a little bit more wild. Live streamers there are utilized a little bit differently than they are here. That's something that I've learned is that each dichotomy, each city is utilizing the live streamers to a different fashion, depending on what is needed at the time. So there's a lot of stuff in Seattle that live streamers don't get to cover as much of, and it's out of protection and safety for the protesters. Shit, Milky's live in Louisville? Is Steph back? Well, now Milky's also a collective of 5 people. So it could very well be that Steph is still in Seattle.
I think it's 7.
Sorry?
It's 7 too. From Milky.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I saw her walk out.
That's what I was guessing.
I think she's up here somewhere.
So yeah, one of the other members of Milky's out here streaming. That is one thing that they have that I don't, and it's nice as a team of people.
Yeah, that's what you need, a team of people.
Yeah, it'd be nice. All right, I'm going to try to get my way back around again. Just wanted to get y'all a shot of the intake process, the paddy wagons, kind of the bail fund, and legal observers. Because there's a whole lot of different elements, a whole lot of different facets at work. Whatever a protest is happening. So I do like to kind of break down, a lot of those different facets and stuff for you guys. So you can kind of understand in full everything that is happening around. It's a lot going on at once. It's kind of hard. Can I cross?
Yeah, you go ahead.
Right. Just making sure. What's up?
Did you just get down here?
No, I've been down here. I marched down here.
Okay. I didn't even know there was a march. I just found out. I was up at TAP, and then all of a sudden I got a...
Marched from Big Four Bridge at like 2:30.
Your face. So why you ain't gonna stand up?
I was standing there. What do you mean? I'm walking back to you.
Right here.
Because if I whoop his ass, you gonna take me to jail. Am I right, sir? So am I not doing the correct thing by telling you about the individual and you showing you don't give a fuck?
When we get a minute, we'll go over there.
And that's all I want in response. Not him. Is that a threat? Like he's an asshole. To be the asshole. Hey, I can say what I want. Hey, D. Okay. So if he gonna act like an ass, I will act like an ass to him.
What's the dude in the straw hat doing?
Once again, he's harassing women, walking by. That's what he's doing.
Can you be a little more discreet?
I was not there. He was harassing women. Damn. If I say he was sexually harassing a woman, do I gotta tell you the position? Like, harassment is harassment. I'm confused.
What he said or not?
Bro, why am I having a long conversation? You know he's harassing somebody in some type of form.
Been over there.
We'll go over there. Go over there. Simply go over there. You have enough officers to take care of this.
They're separating.
Look, man, at the end of the day, this is why the conversations don't go nowhere with you all. Because you all are petty. I simply just told you an individual was harassing an individual. I just wanted to see how a black man would respond to me telling him a sister was being harassed. And this is what I got. You spoke up as a white man before he would about simply going over there. Simply addressing the situation. So I appreciate that. But it's people like you is why I came over here. I'm holding all of y'all accountable. Because at the end of the day, I just told you a sister was harassed. And you want to ask me about you being threatened. Appreciate that, brother. Yes. So as y'all seen, I went over there and told some officers about somebody being harassed and nobody gave a shit. So that's the LMPD. They want to know how she's being harassed, what's going on, asking all of these questions. But yet, truck over here is the U-Haul is the main focus. Trampoline is the focus. But I just told you a person was being harassed on the street. And nobody gives a damn. Honesty is key, bro. Honesty is key. Honesty is key. Hey, man. Everybody tired out here. If you ain't tired, they mean they just hired you and you out here fresh. She's going strong in that microphone.
I'm all for it. So you fresh too? Yep. So what good have you seen in the 2 years you've been on?
You said you've seen a lot of bad, right?
I can tell you a bunch of bad. From everything from the mayor to the police chief, the shit that y'all allow y'all comrades to do. I ain't said that was all bad. I ain't never said that.
I've seen a lot of good.
But in the same token, I also see motherfuckers die because people are stealing money so they can't respond to calls because they work on the job at the same time. So still, that's people that we trust as citizens to protect us. But my man died because the motherfucker was stealing money because he was working off duty and on duty at the same time. See our frustration?
Rebuild the system.
How do y'all fix it? What is justice?
Arrest the cops. That's what I start off at.
That's not even. That's not right. That's not. That's not even.
How can you speak up for what? How can you speak up for what solves pain for a family?
Pain for a family. Okay.
How can you tell what solves the pain of a family?
Y'all are speaking just for that situation, right?
No, I'm not.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying.
I'm not.
No, I'm not. You. I asked you a question. I simply said, how can you justify what solves the pain of a family member? Man, I asked you a question. What are you talking about? What I'm doing? I just asked you a simple question. You just said why people out here. I'm giving you an example why.
Pain of her family, right?
I'm telling you reasons why. There are multiple. Do you think there's just one reason why people out here?
There's several reasons why people.
Okay, so why are you tagging me to one?
You started with that one.
I didn't. You asked the question. I gave you an answer. You asked the question. You got an answer. Exactly. Simple as that. When you get stuck, you can't justify how somebody else's pain is solved.
You're exactly right, sir.
So why would you argue?
I'm not arguing with that.
You did. I said that statement, and we're going back and forth right now. We're going back and forth right now.
You can't listen. We can't have a conversation. That's the problem with the police and the people.
I heard you clearly. I responded to every question you've asked.
Y'all lack that. I ain't gonna say y'all, as a department, y'all lack that. Because if we're being honest, there's
She
no
still ain't
way-
said nothing good she's seen as an officer yet. I'm still waiting for that first question he asked. What have you seen as an officer for 2 years? What good have you seen as an officer?
Y'all couldn't make
She can't give you no answer.
That makes no sense at all.
They trained her well her 2 years though, I can tell you that.
Y'all lack communication, how to deal with the community that y'all supposed to serve.
So how
That's
do we
the
fix
problem.
that? That's why I asked you.
Community policing, and not this bullshit y'all do, talking about living compassionate city. That's bullshit.
Okay.
You have motherfuckers like Tyson, because we know Tyson, get out that motherfucking special unit and come talk to the hood. Not that little bullshit he been doing. Feel me? Because the hood respect them. Not sending them up and we don't understand us to come work for us. That's how you fix this. And not to just have a conversation from us and have a response. Actually have a conversation to actually understand what
Very shady with the dialogue, definitely.
Y'all call, and now y'all got y'all mad what the fuck going on, what y'all doing. Y'all just want the person to keep talking until when it gets done.
I keep calling him Jerusalem. I can't remember the last name. He keeps getting demoted. He went from a lead to a cameraman.
This special told you shit like that, and based on how y'all feeling for that day.
No passion for people at all. That's correct. Your own.
How was that job for you?
I think she's running out of things to talk about now. She has nothing else to talk about now, guys.
You attorney for corporation. Got to run for this corporation. It ain't military, it's a job. We're going to be honest.
So yeah, guys, we're over here. Same location as usual today. As it was earlier. Like I said, people are still being apprehended. Officers are still here. They've been, as I stated, they blocked the streets, more streets than we have. We blocked one street, literally one block. They've blocked a total of 11 blocks now. And they're still out here blocking streets. You know, we clean up after ourselves, so you'll never have to say we leave stuff in the streets. We leave stuff blocked off. So the reason them being out here, we could have actually have had them police out here. The police literally could have been doing exactly what they're doing now and just actually allowed us to leave a table in the street. They could have allowed us to enjoy this area. You blocking the area off for 3 fucking hours, but yet you're gonna complain about us being over here blocking out. That's the shit that don't make sense. If they're gonna pay y'all to come out here, just pay to be out here and protect us. Hell, the shit is gonna get pulled out of the street, but yet y'all rather put this shit show on. And like I said, you put officers out here who don't want to be out here.
Relationships. Yo, imagine how that show up in our homes and our daily lives for generations.
Talk about
For generations.
Come on now.
This has been happening to us. When you can look around and damn near you can be sure that someone you are looking at has experienced torture. How that shows up in your everyday life.
Teach on that.
How that shows up in your conversations.
Yep.
And you being instantly defensive. We got real ass work to do, and it's some bullshit that we got to be out here looking at they ugly, stupid, goofy, dumbass. And we got all this motherfucking work to do. We got all this talent that needs to be used in other ways. Y'all know how fucking talented the people sitting in jails and prisons are?
Yes.
Hey folks, if you have a bike, can you please direct your bike resources and energy towards Fillmore just to make sure we can secure a safe perimeter around Freedom Square? If you have a bike and would like to use your bike resources, can you please direct your energy towards Fillmore to protect the perimeter? Thank you. Fillmore Traffic Center.
My mother is here.
Hey.
My father is here. It's the energy.
I don't even.
My granny was an entrepreneur. When she moved to the shop, she was dirt poor. Had kids to provide for. But that for a black woman in America, a meal woman made something out of nothing. Look, she made millions off keeping work. No offense, my real niggas split the verse, keep it cold. If they catch a piece of cold, keep it sold. My mama been told, did time never told. My mama, she an OG, bought a Benz at 14. That 23, my OG, had a different cup every day of the week. And she still got a 95 UG. Baby girl's born in 93, finally, now here's me. Granny raised a bunch of queens, I done seen a bunch of things. From the earth to a bunch of dreams. All these dreams live inside of me, I know that they are calling me. To bring them to reality, I know they already proud of me. I got a key, they got proud of me. I grew up with a family, the love is what inspires me. He said I could be anything I want to be, and I should never want to be anything that way me. I just wanted to be free. Had my family tree, been trapped out of streets. What a penitentiary. money. Look, I'm feeling like Harriet. Burden of a black woman, you can't carry it. Why should I tell my story if I know they gon' bury it? Why should I have this baby if I know I'm a bury? Look, it's some heavy shit, and my mama head way on top of it. Moving it, did it all for the family, did it all for the kids. Look, my mama, she a OG. Grandma, she a OG. I got a bunch of aunties, and they all OGs. A long line of black queens, they all helped raise me. So what you think they taught me? What you think they made me? My mama, she a OG. Mama, she a OG. I got a bunch of aunties, and they all OGs. A long line of black queens, they all helped raise me. So what you think they taught me? What you think they made me? Growing up, I never thought that I was spoiled. I got everything I wanted plus more. Every week I got another pair of Jordans. Every game system, every game form. How we could afford it on a house for my quarter. Like drugs across borders. Feds helping cross.
Do his thing. Break the yelling. For now.
You can change it from the inside,
For
right?
now.
My mother's been in the house for 35 years.
Oh, true. Let me start posting more.
I feel like this is a thing. I'm down there. The niggas better watch out. I'm in public crazy and watch out. That was money I ain't seen in the damn house. Really works, many calling about my whereabouts. I'm probably with the shooters when they air it out. Lord forgive me. I'm just trying to make it out. Sitting on these prayers. I'm hoping blessing come down. Lady, I've been feeling it.
Hold on, do this.
Be another messy house and be a Mike Brown. Even with our hands up, it'll be gone down. And he's not going out. The shit's story, that ain't my story. I'm about to fight it out. Fuck, I'm black it out. Fuck, I'm black it out. My mama, she a OG. I got a bunch of aunties, and they all OG. A long line of black queens, they all helped raise me. So what you think they taught me? What you think they make me? My mama, she a OG. Her mama, she a OG. I got a bunch of aunties, and they all OG. A long line of black queens, they all helped raise me.
Yeah.
What you think they taught me? What you think they made me? My mama, she a OG. B-A-H-H-S, Black Ancestors Here Healing Society, not bars. I'm standing right here proud as hell to say that I was a part of the organization of the minds, of the youth, of the energy, of the frequency that created this space 4 years ago, and that invites you back here to build on it and envision it even stronger and even more empowering. And this is the type of mind that these type of spaces create. This is the type of talent that you create space for here when we live off the land and we really invest in our talents and in our powers and we divest from these goofy ass people across the street. Let's keep it going for we gotta do it one time for the one time because Bella is the empress of the West Side of Chicago. That's right. And after all, we are on the West Side. We are at Holman Square, but more specifically, we are at Freedom Square. I'm Jenna. I'm Jenna. My middle name's Melissa. Did you know that? My middle name is Melissa. It really is. I'm Jenna. This is Melissa. Yes, indeed. And we are your hosts, your MCs, your abolitionists. What dreams? You can just sit. All right, here we go. We're gonna do a collective breath because I'm
Okay,
really hyped up. I don't know about y'all. So, if y'all could join me, we're gonna do a little visualization real quick. So I want folks, if you feel comfortable, you feel brave enough and able, go ahead, close your eyes. I want you to imagine your body right now, if you are standing, sitting, or some other combination,
being completely rooted right now. Go ahead and inhale and exhale. You are brave, you are rooted, you are present, and you are here right now. Right now. I want you to visualize yourself in a place where you can be your bravest self. If that looks like you on an island and a waterfall's right next to you, if that looks like you laying on the grass with every kind of flower growing all around you, if that looks like you being held by someone that you love so deeply at peace and at rest, go there now. Go ahead and breathe in and exhale out. Know that you can access this liberation, this moment of freedom, and this moment of bravery and peace anytime you want. Because each and every one of you right here, right now, are divine, are sovereign. You deserve rest, you deserve peace, and most of all, you deserve to be free. Go ahead and breathe in and exhale out. Give some snaps for yourselves, y'all. You did that. You did that. So right now, we're going to keep it moving, and I'm going to bring up to this. You got something to say?
Yes, can we just make sure we have the rest of our speakers and our performers close to the stage? We're coming for Winfield from Shy Nations, the Mexica Dancers, Rashad, the Arab Footwork Crew. Can we just make sure we're close to the stage? If you are a performer or a speaker, Rich Wallace. Rich Wallace, there you are. Hey, you're right behind me, friends. And anybody else that's supposed to be speaking, and make sure that, again, if you are with a friend, make sure you're taking care of each other, make sure you're staying hydrated, make sure that all the energy and vibe that you are protecting and loving up on one another. Thank you everyone that's coming out in support of this. We are what we need, and yeah, just continue loving up on this good vibes.
It's gonna hurt so bad.
Yes.
You still dancing?
All the vibes, really. Come how you need, because we got you. We got us. So next up, I'm like, this is a good spot. Next up, we are going to have some amazing abolitionists, some beautiful people who are doing some very, very important work right now, like right now, like presently, like right now, like you about to find out, but it's so real, it's like right now. They're going to talk about Chicago versus Green. Can I get a big round of applause for Trina and Myra?
I'm so sorry.
Hey y'all, how you doing? I feel like you can like, you just hold them over here. Just hold them if that's okay. Thank you. Okay.
So peace, y'all. My name is Trina. I am a BYP Revolution squad member. I am a part of the Black African Network where I'm on the Defund CCD campaign. I also work at the Invisible Institute. It's a nonprofit organization that investigates police misconduct. Something that I remember like the most like vividly about this space was being on an 8-foot tall ladder, shutting down the area that they are trying to protect right now. Comrades who are here today still dedicated to abolition, still dedicated to fighting against police violence, were literally their necks were like tied to the like we were not moving, they could not move. I just wanted to uplift that moment.
Yeah, shout out to Economic Health for those who really cranked out here for 41 days 4 years ago. That is amazing.
Can you just hold this for 1 second?
I also work at
Katrina, and I am an educator first and foremost. I work with young people, and we primarily talk about everyday routine encounters with the police. And the reason why we do that is police violence is not just being shot or being beaten up by a cop, right? It's the way that being policed in and out, like day in and day out, surveilled, it changes the way you move in the world. It changes your freedom of mobility. It changes your ability to think creatively. And that is an act of violence.
So I think we should ground this moment in talking about settlements, period, right? Settlements have been used by the city council to save money and not hold police officers accountable. By way of, if something happens to you, police misconduct happens to you, and you have evidence, you have access to a lawyer, you can file a lawsuit, and they will pay you
Overwatch is a video game. It involves
$1 million because there was clear evidence that the police shot him 16 times, and they were not really they were not trying to deal with the money associated with the trial. They were not trying to pursue accountability. They decided they would pay the family, and that happens more often than we think. $113 million at least was paid in 2018 in response to police violence. You can find that information on Settling for Misconduct. It's a database of the Chicago Reporter Committee. And what you might notice is that a lot of the police officers who are attached to settlements have multiple settlements attached to their names. What you might notice is a lot of police officers whose names are attached to settlements are also attached to complaints filed against the police. But because of the way that our police investigatory system works, police officers are rarely held accountable for their action. It's usually you get it unfounded. We can't prove that something happened to you. So what you claim happened to the police happened to you, and then the police did not actually happen.
So I want to uplift the fact that you can, on the street, when you interact with a cop, they are supposed to have their badge, name, and numbers public. That is public information. That information belongs to us. And on your phones, you can go to our website called the Citizens Police Data Project.
If you have a Twitter right now, you can go to CPDP BOT. It's a Twitter bot. If you see the officer's name and badge number there, or is it just the name? Just the name, then you the bot will automatically shoot you back with the disciplinary history of that police officer.
And if Safari and the mobile browser works on your phone, you can just go to cpdp.co. And because I guess that some people don't want to be tweeting publicly names of officers, right? So you can just go to that website and type in the officer's last name, and you can see their record. On your computer, you can search for a lot more things. But you might be wondering, what is this installation we brought up with us? So this installation will be spread out around at the tents, and we encourage you to interact with it. These are complaint records. These are documents.
No. We can go. Let's go.
The piano is still here. I don't know if they're on my live, so I don't want to talk about it too much. They might ignore it, just let it go. They might not touch it.
And that's what these documents are. I encourage you to come pick up a document and read the stories.
The thing that we're facing right now is that we only have access to just a few documents that are here and that are located on the website. Really, when you see an officer has like economic responsibility, then just the primary category of so these officers did was like 5 years.
You know, I don't see there being no parking on this main road during a work day. Yeah, apparently all the meters say no parking, so that's what they did. Yeah. So anybody parked on the street here is gonna be
I'm on the other
side.
Yep.
So anybody that was here would get an automatic call.
But this is on front door.
That's crazy. Like literally the time
It's already 6.
no parking sign there when they got here.
That's 6.
they don't need it at all. They're towing that one because they said that it was up to something earlier. All the parking units said that they parked.
No, I'm pretty sure he just said they're towing all these cars. That's what I just heard.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. They just told me they weren't.
Okay. Well, then they're telling us two different stories. Go figure.
I mean,
welcome to LMPD.
Are you towing these cars or not? Towing this?
Council will be voting on a settlement. They're trying to pay him $500,000. And listen, he deserves a lot more money than that, right? But the city council of the city of Chicago tried to slide into the settlement agreement. We're not going to release these records, even though a judge ordered them to release the records in January. So we cannot let city council pass the settlement the way that it is, or the city of Chicago get away without releasing the records in now.
There's a lot of sexual assault at the hands of the police. And a lot of times when people are thinking about police violence, we are not usually thinking about violence against black women, black girls, trans folks, DNC folks, because that happens quite a bit. And a lot of those narratives, because of the way that the CCB categorizes their data, that's what's wrong. That's what's wrong. Macy Van Dyke had a history of racial slurs. That was wrong. Because we did not have records. We don't have unique documents in order to learn those kinds of details. Thank you so much. You can find me, Francie.
Shout out to the artists that worked on this board, Asha Angela Bay. You can help us too if you want some type of.
Yes, come find us. We will be posting to you on social media. This is Myra AK on Instagram and Twitter. Myra KA on Instagram and Twitter. Trinity Trill on Instagram and Twitter. And we will be posting things proactively because we only have the most support to handle this thing.
Okay, so please listen up. CPD is saying that someone in the crowd has overdosed. We know that CPD lies about everything all the time. We also know that we care about our people. So I need to know, is everyone okay? Yeah. Is the person that you came here with okay? Yeah. Is the person next to you okay? Yeah. No, I need you to take a hot minute. Is the person next to you okay? Is the person in the cluster, 5 people next to you, okay? So, this is what's happening. The police are saying that they need to infiltrate what is happening right now. Okay. So, I just got a real-time update, because this is how it goes, y'all. The person who is of question is being treated right now by our medics. Because who got us? We got us! Who got us? We got us! Who got us? We got us! Before I introduce the next person, I need to be very, very, very clear with y'all. The police want to get up in here right now. I don't know if you can see, but they are right behind you with their right ear looking goofy as hell. I need you to look out for each other. This is Abolition 101 for me. I'll speak for myself. My Abolition 101 means I look after the person that I am next to. So we need to make sure we are hydrated. We are making sure we're good. We do not talk to the police at all. We do not engage with the police at all. Do you understand? Thank you. You will see people engaging with the police. That is because they are police liaisons for today, and that is their role. If you are not a police liaison for today, do not engage. They do not exist. They will lie. They will beat. They will torture. We know this. We know this. Thank you.
What side are you on, my people? What side are you on?
We on the freedom side.
What side are you on, my people? What side are you on?
We on the freedom side.
What side are you on, my people? What side are you on?
We on the freedom side.
Shakur was a freedom fighter and she taught me how to fight.
Say what?
We gon' fight everything
And when Tyron called for that mental health check and he walked outside and they shot him. And with Amity, when they shot her son with autism, they looked behind them to see who was looking. And they edited that video. And they hid the videos and they won't release the videos. But one thing they didn't do, they didn't look up. They didn't look up. Because he sits up high and he looks down low. And he has the last say. He has the last say. So the truth is going to be revealed regardless. And when they murdered George Floyd, it was a door that was cracked for the rest of our families. So all we got to do is push it open and walk in. Push it open and walk in. And that's what we're doing right now. We're controlling our narratives and we pushing the door open and we ain't even walking in. We stomping in because we done. We tired of killing our people. And we will get the justice we deserve either way. Either way. Thank you all for being out here today, and I'm going to pass the mic on to whoever else wants to speak out of our families.
Hi, I gotta snag the mic. I'm disabled, so we'll see how long I can stand here. Thank you. My name is Amity Dimmick. I am the mother of Kobe Heisler. Kobe Heisler was murdered in his own home in front of his grandmother on August 31st of 2019. The news covered it the day that it happened. They covered some call logs the day after, but that's all y'all have heard about it. You may have heard about me recently working on police reform, but otherwise there's nothing about my son out there. One of the reasons is because it's been 10 months and what's the date today? The 26th? The 24th, 10 months and 24 days. We don't have any of the information we should have. We don't have a charging decision. After George Floyd got murdered, we were able to see his body cam video, but only because George Floyd had gotten murdered. And so we watched that. All I can say about that is that it reconfirmed what I already knew, which is that my son did not deserve what happened to him, and that he was indeed murdered by the Brooklyn Center Police. I started protesting the day after George Floyd died. I was trying to sit there and work because somehow you're supposed to go on with your life like you're a normal person. Pay your bills and work a 40-hour work week. And I listened to the news in the background when I'm working. I work at home. And that morning after, all I saw was George Floyd, George Floyd, George Floyd, George Floyd. Which is, rest in peace. I feel so bad for him. But I got politicians and pro athletes and superstars and everybody talking about George Floyd, George Floyd, George Floyd. And I just started wailing in my office that day because I was thinking, what about Kobe Heisler? Kobe Heisler, Kobe Heisler. Why isn't he in everybody's mouth? Why isn't everybody talking about him? My guy came to see what I was crying about. He just looked at me. He said, turn that computer off, sign off, we're going. And we've been here every day since.
Right. Listen. Justice for Kobe.
I don't know if you can imagine how hard it is to go through what we're going through. And then to actually feel like people don't care, or that people don't even know what happened. The injustice. The call had been reversed. My son just had a bad day that day. The 911 call had been reversed, and they came in and they shot him anyhow. And so I've been doing what I can to do the police justice reform, the police reform, but what I really need is justice for my son. And I need everybody to help me get it. I will say one last thing. His 1 year anniversary of being murdered by Brooklyn Center. Police will be on August 31st. I plan on having a protest of all protests because I want you guys to help me demand that they show the body cam video to the public.
Listen!
Yeah, 1 year they have no excuse not to.
Yeah.
That's all I've got to say.
All right.
Say his name! Say his name!
Kobe Heiser!
Say his name!
Kobe Heiser!
Say his name!
Kobe Heiser!
Hi everyone. First of all, I want to thank Tucson for putting this together and giving the families a platform to talk about our loved ones who were stolen by the police.
Yes.
My name is Taryn Vang. My boyfriend Travis Jordan was murdered November 9th, 2018 by the Minneapolis 4th Precinct. He was murdered by 2 white rookie officers who had not even been on the force for more than a year. Their names are Neil Walsh and Ryan Kais. I called for a wellness check because Travis Jordan was experiencing a mental health crisis. He was having suicidal ideation. When they got there, they kept banging on the window telling him to come out, buddy. When he finally came out, they shot at him 8 times, murdering him. There was no co-responder program in the 4th Precinct on the day that he was murdered. If there was one, he would have had a higher chance of being alive today. There should be mental health care workers and social workers who are responding to mental health crisis calls. Why are the police present? They are not trained to de-escalate these kinds of situations. I found out 2 days ago on Twitter that there is a program called ICAT. It is a nationwide program to train police officers on how to de-escalate situations when firearms are not involved. They are using Travis Jordan's last moments to be used as an example of what not to do. If that is not guilt, then I don't know what the fuck is. But on the training program, they are calling it suicide by cop. There is no such fucking thing as suicide by cop. Y'all killed him in cold blood. So we really need to change the narrative. There is no such thing as suicide by cop. It is fucking murder by cop. There is no such thing as being pre-planned, premeditated, or it happening spontaneously. There is no such thing. That shit needs to change. Reform needs to change. We need social workers out there, mental health crisis workers out there to respond to calls for mental health wellness checks. On July 31st, it is Travis Jordan's 38th birthday. We are having a protest in front of the Minneapolis Police Department, the 4th Precinct in North Minneapolis at 6 p.m. I encourage all to show up and show support with the family and solidarity with us. Thank you. Travis Jordan. Travis Jordan. Travis Jordan. Travis Jordan.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming out and showing support to the families. Of course, we are so grateful. This is certainly a club that we didn't sign up for, and everything in me doesn't want to be here, but I have to because my name is Delshia Perry. My son and my only child, his name is Hardell Sherrill. And Hardell Sherrill got into trouble with the law. We all make mistakes. Romans 3:23 says, "For we have all sinned and fallen short of the glory of God." Not one of us is perfect, thank God. Not one of us is perfect. But I got a message for WCCO today, and I hope that they're listening. Now, my son got into some trouble several years ago, and there was an accident that happened, and I'm not going to go into the details of it, but it was a mistake. But WCCO decided that they wanted to demonize my son in every way, shape, and form that they could, even to this day. And my baby is not here to defend himself. So they need to stop with the telling of the lies and putting information out there about our babies that happened years ago, because it is irrelevant to what is going on right now. We need to keep the main focus, We know why we're out here. We don't need to be more traumatized than we already are. And believe me, we are traumatized. My baby went into jail on August 24th of 2018. 9 days later, he was carried out in a body bag. He got sick. We don't know why he got sick. I believe they poisoned him, but that's just my belief. And I know that God will reveal it to me one day. Yes. But in the meantime, my baby called me crying, "Mama, they don't believe me. They think I'm lying." He said, "I can barely even stand up right now on the phone to talk to you because it hurts so bad. My back hurts so bad." He said, "In fact, it's so bad that I wish I could just roll over and die." No mama wants to hear their baby talk like that, so I began to pray, because that's what I know to do, and that's what I know works. So I said, "Mama can't be there for you, baby, but God is there for you. You just have to call on him." And I told him months before he got arrested this last time, there's going to come a time that you're not going to be able to call on me. Mama, I cannot save you. Only Jesus saves you. So you're going to have to learn how to call on the Lord. Yes. And he did. I know my baby did. Because when he got so sick and they kept leaving him in that room and he fell out of that bed, I don't know if any of you have seen his videos on YouTube, but Unicorn Riot did an amazing job. And now, of course, Carol Levin, AJ, he's been covering a story. There was breaking news that we just got on the 7th, where there was a nurse who had gone in to visit my son. And I called her because I wanted to know what was it that my son said in his last few days. And she said that he said, "Please, ma'am, you got to believe me that something's wrong with me, that you got to believe me." But they don't believe me. He said, "Please don't leave me in here with them by myself." So he was afraid of them. And my son was 6'4", 250 pounds. But he couldn't fend for himself. Because days after neglect and abuse by Beltrami County Jail correctional officers and by Sanford Medical, who sent him back to the jail to die, they should have never released my baby from the hospital in the first place. And then, to top it off, Mend Medical, who is supposed to be providing medical care to almost 34 county jails. This is not an isolated incident with what happened to my baby in Beltrami County Jail. Call it out. There are a lot of lives that have been taken from the Beltrami County Jail. My son went up there because he was dating a Native American gal, and her uncle, they were there for a repast. And he got caught with a gun, and it is what it is. But my baby didn't get his day in court. He was in 9 days, he was dead. So I go up to Bemidji as often as I can. Everybody knows where Bemidji is. It's very far from here. It's about a 4-hour drive from the Twin Cities, 3.5, 4-hour drive. And I go up there and I try to do whatever I can to bring awareness to what they are doing to the indigenous people and the Native Americans, because enough is enough. They are scared up there. They are scared up there because of the corruptness within that city. It's terrible. And we've got to keep doing what we need to do to get justice for all the lives, because not just Black Lives Matter, but Native Lives Matter. Amen. And I will continue to fight for all these lives. And as somebody said, well, but all lives matter. Well, yes, they do, but all lives don't matter until Black Lives Matter and until Native Lives Matter. No, they don't. So I just want to say I appreciate everybody for coming out. And now, with everything that has been going on with my son's case, The truth is finally coming out. So stay tuned, because now the DOJ and the FBI are investigating what they did to my baby in Beltrami County Jail. Now that's a God thing right there. Only God could do something like that. So I give God all the glory, because this is not my story, but this is God's story. Thank you very much.
I'm Junior Plevin's aunt, and Thurman Plevin, he was shot by the police in 2018, and he was shot out in the community. And I know that I'm hearing like the police reforms, and they're talking about the community to help policing, and you know, I wish at the time that the community, you know, would have stepped in and helped, and he wouldn't have been shot by the police, but it would have helped if the community would have stepped in, and, you know, he would have been, you know, alive today. And, you know, like she said, like he got into trouble, you know, like young people and, you know, like people do, you know, but he still didn't deserve to be shot, you know, the way he did. You know, he would have had a chance if, you know, maybe if community policing did help, you know, but he still was a good person, and you know, like, and I say, like, at the time, you know, when it did help him, like, you know, as one person, and, you know, like the police, like, they bully you, and you feel like you're sometimes, like, overpowered when these things happen by the police, and you don't know what to do, you know, but you almost have to, and I know the people up here, they experience it too when it's happened. And that's why I do think Black Lives Matter for being there, because you do have someone to help, you know. There's a crisis, you know, once you go through it. But you know, Junior's gone today, you know, but like I said, I do help the community for, you know, like helping with us, you know, through this. So I'm glad for everybody being here and helping us. Okay.
Justice for Jones! Thurman Plevin! Say his name! Say his name! Say his name! Say his name! Thurman Plevin!
Is that better?
Yeah. Step further. Further down, further down. Go ahead.
My name is Samaya Aiden. I'm the younger sister of Isaac Aiden, who was murdered by Eagan and Bloomington officers on July 2nd, 2019, in Eagan, Minnesota. With the pending case, I can't be saying a lot in regards to the case, but I do want to say there are a lot of things in the system that we need to change. Prior to just being here, I was grabbing coffee with my lawyers and just talking about things like qualified immunity and all the systems in place to protect law enforcement and these police departments, like the BCA, Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, that takes over the investigation after, I guess, law enforcement officers murder someone. And can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to say there's a lot of work that needs to be done. At this point, we're way beyond reform, and it's time we just got rid of these systems. There's no way. There is no way try and reform a system that is working exactly the way that it was designed to work. And I also wanted to just hop on the mic and plug an event that we have coming up. It's crafting an event that the Eagan Police Department put together. So the Eagan Police Department is doing a Building Bridges and Trust with the Community event on August 4th. It's outside, and to RSVP, you have to go through the Eagan Police Department with your private information. And they decided to, and it's limited space even though it's outside, and they decided to notify a Rotary Club before they did the community in advance. And so we're hosting a protest on August 4th. It'll be from 6 to 8. You do not need to RSVP through the police department.
You're just showing up.
And we're sending a message that before they can try to build bridges and trust with the community, they need to fire their serial killer officer, Jacob Peterson, who not only murdered my brother, but also murdered Zachary Primo while laying face down in his mom's backyard in Duluth. He murdered Zachary Primo and then moved to Eagan and has now killed my brother. We're also demanding that the Eagan Police Chief Roger New step down and be prosecuted as well for saying that he felt threatened because my brother looked at him. The same rhetoric that was used to justify murdering Emmett Till, where he whistled at a white woman. In 2020, we're still using those excuses to murder. And so the Eagan Police Department cannot build trust and build bridges with the community when they haven't even done that with my family. When they brought out the South Metro SWAT team on July 1st, when we were peacefully protesting for my brother, when they brought Burnsville and Bloomington and Lakeville officers, as well as all 77 officers of the Eagan Police Department, including Officer Mosang and Jacob Peterson, who murdered my brother, to our peaceful protest, they're not ready to build bridges. They're not ready to earn back our trust, and we're going to make that message be known on August 4th from 6 to 8 p.m. The information to the event page and everything will be posted on the Justice for Isaac Aiden page tomorrow night. So please stay tuned for that. Please show up. It's at 6, right after you get off work. I don't want to hear any excuses, so thank you. Say his name! Isaac Aiden! 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 Thank you.
You gotta grab you a piece of steel. Shh, please be still. The mother whispers to the little child who know what hell is now. When no knock or a bell ring, they're coming through the door for flashbang. The one that when that fat lady singing ha ha out. Commandos rock with their Glocks out. Rifle drones and tanks will make you think twice. Yeah, they nice with genocide. We just targets in their eyes. You decide, you decide, you decide. Whether you gonna kneel or you gonna fight. They might. They terrorists and the terrorists overnight. And the sight of the world to stop you us from evolving. They got enough allies to make your resources cut all times. Cause without exports, you can't even live your lives. Sit back in time to the third world. Now a country hungry. Gotta feed on each other just to eat. That remind me of Black Wall Street. When they napalm the whole city. And the police and KKK came to raise for whole hell. They chatted, burn, baby, burn. Away from everything that we earn, baby, earn. Our suffering is not their concern. Our cries, Judea Inferno. Disasters, what they souls yearn for. When black power rises out of black ashes with enough passion, while black sister reach the presidency and grasp it. We sound like spooks with this
What you working with?
All right, tell us what y'all working with.
purpose. He have a purpose. He did not deserve to die like that. But through his family, his purpose is going to come out. It's going to be a fight, but we're going to get it. We're going to get it. Because we want to save lives. I want to thank you all for taking this time, and I also wanted to call out Monique Coyadoti. She's also the aunt of Marcus Golden. She done went the other way. but Monique is one of the people that she actually gave me a voice. So they had worked so diligently, the St. Paul police, to quiet my voice. When they sat outside my house and they followed me and waved at me with my baby in a car because they wanted to keep me quiet. They didn't want me to come out with the story, the true story of them beating my son's father and putting him in the garbage. They don't want other people to know about that, right? So they do their due diligence. They make sure that they try to keep the families quiet. So just imagine that. Imagine someone killing your loved one, throwing them in the garbage, and then sitting outside your house and following you while you have a 3-year-old baby with the person. And so Monique and also Kim Handy Jones, these were people that came, and Michelle Gross and Jess Sundu, that came to my aid to give me a voice and a platform to speak and tell the true story. Listen. So I just wanted to give that to Monique, because she was one of the people that was there for me when I didn't have nobody. 11 years ago, when Justin was killed, I didn't have anybody. And so I am so grateful for Monique, and she's here representing her nephew, Marcus Golden, that was killed. Did you want to say something, Monique? Yeah, listen! Yeah. And just thank you all for the time, because I know it's lengthy, but we are families in pain, and so we're going to move along, but I just wanted to give that to Monique.
Listen! My sister!
Thank you, Tashira, and thank you, TCC for Jay. We are proud and happy to support and keep the legacy of Jamar Clark alive. Absolutely.
That part.
We're proud.
Yeah.
So when I say how many you say weren't filmed, how many?
One film.
How many?
One film.
How many?
One film.
How many?
One film.
So right here in the Twin Cities, we have a lot of people that have been killed.
Listen.
That weren't filmed. But we also have people who were killed and the film was destroyed. Right, we have cell phone videos that have been taken and lost. All kinds of evidence that has been planted. Families that have been abducted. Witnesses that have been abducted and held against their will. Children separated from their adult parent, even after having witnessed an execution by the police. So my nephew Marcus Golden was executed by St. Paul police officers Jeremy Doverspike and Dan Peck in 2015. He was sitting in the back of a parking lot, and a white man who did not know him called in and said, "There's a man sitting back here. I don't like it." The operator was asking, "Well, do you know who he is?" He's like, "No." And they said, "Well, is he armed?" He's like, "I don't know." The operator says, "Well, if he had a gun, where would it be?" He's like, "I don't know." So one of the officers slipped on some ice. They arrived without being notified, without notifying the department. Wouldn't record anything. And one of the officers slipped on ice and his gun went off.